Hi students, my name is Ajay. I have been teaching maths for 10th standard students, PUC first year, second year, as well as for engineering students. Today I am going to teach you polynomials. So it is chapter number 2 in NCERT. I hope you have learned some basics about polynomials in 9th standard. So today we'll revise about polynomials. So what is polynomial? So the meaning of poly is many and the meaning of nomial is term, many terms. So the definition of polynomial is a polynomial is an expression consisting of variables and non-negative integer exponent of variables. Before that, let us see what is variable and what is coefficient. So what is variable? For example, p of x is equal to 2x square plus x plus 1. Here, x is called variable. Why x is called a variable? Because x can take any value. What about 1? It is called constant. 1 is called constant. 1 has its own number. It can't change. So 1 is called constant, whereas x is called variable. It can take any value. For example, if you put x is equal to 0, p of 0 equal to 2 into x is 0, 2 into 0, 0 plus x is 0, 0 plus 0, 0 plus 1 is 1. So here x can take any value. If you put the value of x, you will get many values of p of x. So it depends on a variable. P of x depends on variable and the variable is x here. So in this equation the variable is x. So in this equation the variable is y. And in this equation the variable is x comma y. So we'll learn what is coefficient. For example, p of x is equal to ax square plus bx plus 1. So here the coefficient of x square is a. A term before x square is called coefficient, or the term which is multiplied to x square is called coefficient. So the coefficient of x is b. So b is called coefficient. So let us see the coefficient of x square here. So what is the coefficient of x square? 2. So what is coefficient of x here? 1 in this. So what is the coefficient of y square? It is 1. So what is the coefficient of y here? 2. Right. So let us see the definition of polynomial. A polynomial is an expression, right? It is an expression consisting of variables. It may be x, y or x comma y. Consisting of variables and non-negative integer exponent of variable. It means the variable power should be, or the variable degree should be, it should be non-negative. So what is non-negative integer? 1, 2, 3, these are called non-negative integer. It should not be a decimal number, or it should not be a fraction, right? It should be a non-negative, right? These are non-negative and these are integers. So what is polynomial? A polynomial is an expression consisting of variables and the variable power or degree should be a non-negative integer, right? Non-negative integer exponent of variable. So let us see some examples of polynomial. P of x equal to x square plus x plus 2. Is it a polynomial? Yes, it is a polynomial. Reason is, so there is a variable x and the variable has the power of non-negative integer, right? So these are non-negative integer. 2 is a non-negative integer. The power of x is 1 here and 1 is a non-negative integer. So it is a polynomial. What about p of x is equal to x plus 1? It is also a polynomial. P of y is equal to y square plus y plus 1. So it is also a polynomial. What about p of x is equal to x plus 1 by x? So it is not a polynomial. If you simplify this, you will get x plus, if you bring 1 by x in the numerator, you will get x power minus 1. Whether minus 1 is a non-negative integer? No, it is not a non-negative integer. It is a negative integer. It should not be a negative integer, right? So it is not a polynomial. Next, p of y is equal to y square plus y power minus 3. P of y is equal to y square plus y power minus 3. Is it a polynomial? No, it is not a polynomial. The reason is the power of y is negative integer. It should be a non-negative. It should be a positive integer, right? Next, sixth, x plus root x. Is it a polynomial? No, it is not a polynomial. The reason is, if you simplify this, x plus root x can be written as 1 by 2. So the power of x is fraction. It should not be a fraction. It should be a non-negative integer. So the next topic is polynomial of various degrees. It may be 1, 2, 3. If it is 1, it is called linear polynomial. If it is 2, it is called quadratic polynomial. If it is 3, then it is called cubic polynomial. For example, x plus 1 equal to 0. So it is called linear polynomial because the highest power of x is 1. If the highest power of x is 1 or the highest degree is 1, then it is called linear polynomial. Next, x square plus x plus 1 equal to 0. So what is the highest power or highest degree of x? Highest degree of x is 2. If the highest degree of x is 2, then it is called quadratic polynomial. It is called quadratic polynomial. Next, cubic polynomial. So what is cubic polynomial? If the highest degree is 3, then it is called cubic polynomial. For example, x cube minus 1 equal to 0. Is it a cubic polynomial? Yes, it is cubic polynomial because the highest power of x is 3. If suppose degree is equal to 0. If it is 1, it is called linear polynomial. If it is 2, it is called quadratic polynomial. If it is 3, it is called cubic polynomial. If suppose degree is equal to 0, it is called constant polynomial. It is called constant polynomial. Next, 0 of a polynomial. So what is 0 of a polynomial? The value of x at which the given p of x will become 0 is called 0 of a polynomial. The value of x at which the given p of x will become 0 is called 0 of a polynomial. For example, p of x is equal to x plus 1. P of x will become 0, right? P of x will become 0. It will become 0 if you put x is equal to minus 1. Substitute x equal to minus 1 here. Substitute x equal to minus 1. So minus 1, so it is plus 1. P of x is equal to x plus 1. If you substitute x equal to minus 1 in this, you will get p of minus 1 is equal to x is minus 1 plus 1. So minus 1 plus 1 will get cancelled, you will get 0. So p of x or p of minus 1 is equal to 0. So it is 0 at which value? X is equal to minus 1. It will become 0 at x is equal to minus 1. So x is equal to minus 1 is called 0 of a polynomial. X is equal to minus 1 is called 0 of a polynomial. How to find 0 of a polynomial? It is very simple. For example, p of x is equal to x plus 2. Substitute p of x equal to 0, right? Substitute p of x is equal to 0. So this equation will become x plus 2 equal to 0, right? If you substitute p of x equal to 0, so this equation will become x plus 2 equal to 0. Simplify this, you will get x equal to minus 2. At this value, x is equal to minus 2, p of x will become 0. So let us check it, right? Let us see. X is minus 2, right? Substitute x minus 2, minus 2 plus 2. So p of minus 2 is equal to 0. So at this value, p of x is equal to 0. So this is called 0 of a polynomial. The value of x at which the given p of x will become 0 is called 0 of a polynomial. So it is called 0 of a polynomial. X is equal to minus 2 is called 0 of a polynomial for this equation. For this equation, x equal to minus 1 is called 0 of a polynomial for this polynomial equation. So the next topic is geometrical meaning of 0 of a polynomial. Geometrical meaning of 0 of a polynomial. So the geometrical meaning of 0 of a polynomial. So it is very simple. If a graph cuts the x-axis, then it is called 0 of a polynomial. So let us see. For example, p of x is equal to x plus 1. P of x is equal to x plus 1. So we'll draw the graph. So it is x-axis and it is y-axis. On y-axis we'll consider p of x, and on x-axis we'll consider x, right? So here p of x, so p of x is y equal to x plus 1. So here we are considering p of x along y-axis and x along x-axis. So we can put, or we can substitute, p of x is equal to y, p of x y equal to x plus 1. So we are plotting a graph p of x versus x, or we can take p of x equal to y. So substitute x is equal to 0. If you substitute x is equal to 0, 0 plus 1, you will get 1. Substitute x is equal to minus 1. If you substitute x equal to minus 1, minus 1 plus 1 will get cancelled. So we'll get 0. So first point is 0, 1. As you know, x is 0 on y-axis and y is 1. So this point is 0, 1. Next, x is minus 1 and y is 0. So minus 1, 0 will get minus 1, 0 because x is minus 1 here and y is 0. So let us draw a line passing through these 2 points. So at this point, p of x is 0. So this point is minus 1, 0. This point is minus 1, 0. As you know, we have taken x along x-axis, so it is x, comma. So what is y? It is p of x. What is y? It is p of x. We have considered y as p of x, right? So p of x is 0. So what is 0 of a polynomial? 0 of a polynomial is x coordinate of a point at which the graph cuts the x-axis. So this graph cuts the x-axis, so it is called 0 of a polynomial. Here p of x value will become 0. X coordinate of a point at which graph of p of x cuts the x-axis. So here there is only 1 0, right? Because the graph is cutting x-axis at only one point. So next, if the graph cuts the x-axis at 2 points, then you will get 2 zeros, right? 2 zeros. Next, So here the graph is cutting the x-axis at 2 point, that is a and a dash. Again you will get 2 zeros, right? 2 zeros. So what is geometrical meaning of zeros of a polynomial? If a graph cuts the x-axis, so it is called zero of a polynomial. So it is geometrical meaning of polynomial, zero of a polynomial. Next, so this graph is cutting the x-axis at only one point. So there is only one zero of a polynomial. As well as in this graph, the curve is cutting at only one point. Next, so in this graph, the curve is not cutting the x-axis, so there is no zero. There is no zero of a polynomial. What about this graph? The curve is not cutting the x-axis, so there is no zero. So let us see some examples from the textbook. So in this, we need to find the number of zeros. So you will get number of zeros if the graph cuts the x-axis. So in this graph, the curve is cutting right to x-axis at only one point. Therefore the number of zeros is 1, as the graph intersects the x-axis at only one point. Next, in this, the graph is cutting the x-axis at 2 points. The graph is cutting the x-axis at 3 points. 1, 2, 3. So what about this graph? So it is cutting y-axis as well as x-axis, right? But we need to see only x-axis. So the graph is cutting the x-axis at only one point. So the number of zeros is 1. What about this graph? It is cutting, or it is touching at only one point. So number of zeros is 1. What about this graph? It is cutting at x-axis at 1 point, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 4 number of zeros. So the number of zeros is 4. So what is zero of a polynomial? It is nothing but at this point the value of a p of x will be 0. So it is 0 at 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let us see exercise 2.1. We'll try to solve this. So here we need to find the number of zeros of p of x in the following cases. Whether this curve or graph is cutting the x-axis, no. It means no zeros. For second bit, so the number of zeros is 1, right? And this, because it is cutting at one point to the x-axis, it means at this point the value of p of x will be 0. Here at 3 points, 1, 2, 3. At 3 points the value of x will be 0. So answer is 3. Find the number of zeros. It means you need to write 3. For this 0 you need to write 0. For this you need to write 1, and for this you need to write 3. Next, for this graph, the curve is cutting the x-axis at 2 points. So number of zeros is 2. Next, so it is cutting at this point 1, 2, 3 and 4. So number of zeros are 4. Next, third one, 1, 2, 3. It is touching at one point, right? As well as it is touching here, and it is cutting at one point. So it is cutting as well as it is touching. Even if it touch, we need to count it. 1, 2, 3. So number of zeros is 3. Thank you.